Kenya has made or is planning to make an ambitious bid of actually hosting a leg of the HSBC Sevens series, and KRU Chairman Sasha Mutai said that talks are in progress about hosting that particular or any other leg in the coming years. Remember, we hosted the World Rugby Under-20 trophy recently, and it was, we can say it was a success. So, Brenda, do you think Kenya has a chance of actually getting to host a leg of the HSBC 7 series?
Nothing is impossible, and given that we hosted the Under-20 in 2023, I think, and it was a success, so there's nothing that would prevent us from hosting the senior one, and I think that would be a very good boost to the team itself, because you first get to feel of the home ground advantage, and there's just that excitement that comes with hosting something. But then again, are we ready in terms of facilities? Is what we used in 2023 still sufficient, or what is being done to ensure that we are ready even as we bid, so that it's not another game of the Chan and we are ready, we are not, we may be, we are surviving on CAF's, we being at CAF's mercy and all. So if we are to host this, let it just not be a talk, or let us just not be ambitious that we want to host this, we think we can host this, but let us be prepared first, so that even as we present the bid, we are ready 70% there, then it's for them to now decide. But I think it would be a very good thing if we host it. It would even reinvigorate the following for the sevens, because I think since the relegation, that went a bit down. So the best thing that can happen to us at this point is to get an opportunity to host, and then everyone will get back to sevens and supporting the team. Yeah.
Shitara, talking about, we have the funds as far as rugby is concerned, yeah? And you actually allocated a stand when we were playing in the Perth Sevens. But how important is it to, first of all, cement our place in the ongoing series? Because now we are languishing in 9th place, going to Vancouver. How important is it to, first of all, ensure that we survive this leg and actually maybe be in the top 5, so that maybe we might be considered to host a leg?
I just hope it's a thought from the president, let it put it that way, a thought or an idea, because we are starting to place our investment in the opposite direction. We are putting the cart before the horse, and you rightly put it. Why don't we work on our team first? Let us be a very tough side in the competition, then we can think of hosting. Then after that, are we thinking of converting Nyayo Stadium into a rugby stadium? Are we thinking of converting Kasarani Stadium into a rugby stadium?
Or even building a new stadium?
Or are we thinking of converting the to be complete Talanta Stadium into a rugby stadium? So I think we are putting the cart before the horse. Let us start by engaging the Ministry of Sports. We start by engaging the government to build a state-of-the-art rugby stadium. Because if you look at what we have as a rugby stadium along Gong Road, it's pathetic. The last time it was renovated, I think it was in 2010-11 thereabout. It's been over a decade. We need a proper stadium. A
25-seat, I think that's the minimum requirement for a rugby stadium.
A rugby stadium.
5,000
but
seats.
I don't think we have any stadium that can qualify the standard that we are talking about. The funds we have, but over the years, the numbers have been diminishing. I remember the years I've been talking about, 2010, 11, 12, 13. It was really a good thing to go and watch a rugby match when these teams would lock horns, Impala, Harlequins, Nondis, then here comes Cabras and KCB. So we really need to reinvent, we really need to redefine, we really need to get where we lost our steps, then retrack and find our way back to that rugby loving community, because we have faded away. Even as we say that we have the fans, I don't think that their heart is there 100%. I can say when we are having the finals is the only time you can clearly see, or when Cabras and KCB are playing, is the time that you will only see fans coming together. And to me, these are people who are just wasting away the weekend. I don't think there is that proper.
I think
I will give it as it is. Kinyua.
Before Alex goes,
I will give it as it is. I used to go to the KRFUA grounds those days to watch rugby matches. But if you cannot convince me, Kinyua, then I don't think that you'll convince me that these are real fans. These are people who are going to pass the weekend.
First things first, we are talking about the HSBC. We're not talking about Kenya Cup. Why was Kenya allocated a stand in Perth?
Because
of the fans.
Exactly. Then what are we talking about?
So where will the fans come? Do you have a rugby stadium in Kenya?
No, okay.
Listen,
They will.
Stera.
Okay.
Listen, Stera. We're talking
Why
about...
were they allocated in Perth and not in Kenya?
Because that is what Kenyan fans bring to the game. Kenya was relegated last year. So imagine, let me put it in football terms, because I think you're more versed with football. Imagine a team that has been relegated comes back to the Kenya Premier League and it's allocated Nyayo Stadium as the main stadium.
Talk about Shabana that came back recently.
Okay, now can we now be? So let us now be realistic. You heard what Wakili said. We've been given that slot. Where will you host?
A minute. We were being given Chan and AFCON. We didn't have.
Don't take me back from my point. We've been given the rights to host the HSBC series. We've been given a leg. Where will we host it?
Let's cut the KRU chairman some slack. What he said was very elaborate. He said, in the long term.
In the coming years.
In the coming years.
How many years?
We are thinking about... we're thinking about bidding. Let me ask you, Shitara, what has football given Kenya? That we invest everything in football.
But it's the most popular
game. Shujaa is the most sellable team.
Is the most successful in Kenya.
Athletics.
I agree.
So why can't we have, having Kasarani has hosted rugby matches.
But it has hosted, but we are converting a football stadium into a rugby stadium. That's what I'm saying.
There is no much big difference.
There's a big difference. You saw the other day, we dug out the whole surface so that we can be accredited by CAF and FIFA.
But hosting crusades on those...
That's what I'm saying.
Why are you having double standards when
Okay, now...
crusades there.
Let us talk
about having... You're talking about having maybe the fan base as far as it's the most sellable sport currently in the country. Look at Fiji. I think they started bidding in 2018. And look at how they have funds, they have everything. They have everything.
They have the stadium.
They have not been allocated a leg.
And we are saying, what we are saying is, why have you ever had Fiji being allocated a stand?
It hasn't.
Exactly.
So, okay, Kinyua, let us put it.
You're talking as if it's going to happen.
Let us put it in simple terms. Let us put it in simple terms. Why I said Sasha is putting the cart before the horse. Let us start with the infrastructure.
I am saying.
No.
What I am saying.
Okay, let's.
The chairman says.
Yeah, we need to bring this to an end.
Let's finish this. Let me rephrase what Sasha said.
No, you have to finish.
Sasha said, first things first, we have to finish in the top 8.
That's what I've said.
And then the next thing he said,
yes,
we have to revive the Safari Sevens so that it can be a brand that was in 2014 that made John Kubu leave his homeland, that is Fiji.
That is what I said too.
And make Nini.
Yes.
So I don't see why you're discrediting Kenya from being given a leg. And it's a roadmap. He said, let us first of all be a core team. Being a core team means you're there all the time. Because
that's what I said. That's what I said.
You cannot be given a leg. That's
what I said.
All right.
Yes.
So I don't see why you're talking about Kenya doesn't have the fan base. It's people.
No, I did not say Kenya does not have a fan base.
Kinyua
took me back.
Kinyua talking about infrastructure.
Guys, you guys are
Kinyua acknowledges.
Have you seen those stadiums that
Kinyua acknowledges. In fact, what Kinyua...
Just a minute.
In fact, what Kinyua is saying is what I've said. I used to go to watch those Safari Sevens.
But you're saying
in
right
those
now,
years, a minute, it doesn't have.
It has.
It doesn't have. I'm telling you
When
the
was
fact.
the last time you went there?
I'm telling you the truth. These are people who are going to pass the weekend.
Okay, Kinyo,
It's a fact.
As I finish,
I think this is a topic that maybe we'll give it some time when Kenya actually becomes serious in placing a bid. Then
Thank you.
Then we can have this discussion. We'll see how far.
We don't have a.
Okay, we need to make progress.
In all these,
We don't have a stadium, Kinyo. Let us put it as it is.
What has football given Kenya?
It is going to give us in Chan in August.
Okay, Kinyo,
August.
just a second.
in all these, we know that it's not, you guys are talking as if it's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
Everything
Exactly.
that it's supposed to do, it has to have time and the planning. Of course, he was saying that to capture the minds, even for the government, you know, you have to put even the government into this. When they say that everyone is dwelling about the football. Of course, when AFCON bid came, when Chan bid came, of course, they had to go to the drawing board and say, Atuna hizi vitu, ABCDFG. And they were given time. Rugby, you're not going to be even extended time that because Chan was supposed to happen this month tumepelekwa mpaka August. That doesn't happen to do what for rugby. They had to have a plan. So Asham Tai was just trying to tell people, we start to think big. Okay. We start to think that selling this team and bringing the big game here in Kenya, because it's part of marketing and it's part of what we are doing
marketing
outside.
Without a stadium.
All right,
No,
you should start with the right thing.
Gentlemen,
it doesn't matter.
Why do we have Jackson, my last point on rugby, why do we have Jackson Seketa in national team right now? Because few years ago, age grade rugby was introduced. That is why we have these players coming through. Shitera, we cannot talk about
Kenya. You are avoiding the most important. Kenya is avoiding the most important discussion. I have not disputed that we have talent. We have. But you want to host a 7 series, but you are starting on the opposite direction. Put the infrastructure first.
Kinyo, just a second.
Explain to you, everything takes time.
Finish up your
point. Not for age grade rugby.
Put the plan for the infrastructure first.
We need to make progress, Kinyo.
Let me finish my point.
Kinyo, we need to make progress.